Hey, welcome back. Welcome in. How was your holiday? That's what I want to talk about. How'd you guys do on Thanksgiving? How are you doing leading up to Christmas? Those are the things that we need to be talking about. One of the things that happens here in YouTube videos, when I'm making my YouTube videos, is I tend to do something where I will do the video, I do the training, and then I switch over into the sales. What am I talking about with the sales? Well, I'm going to do something different. Today, I want to do something different. I want to talk about the transformation of processing the pain of grief. What you actually will get when you go through going after your pain, when you go through going after your grief pain. I want to open with that. Let's start there, and then I'll do the training. How does that sound? You down with me? Let's get to it. I'm a little off. I had a week off. Haven't had had to be in here. It was actually a really crazy busy week, but I'm glad to be back. The transformation inside processing the pain of grief is really simple. You walk in feeling confused. For a lot of you, you're walking in overwhelmed. You're tired. You're stuck in the pain. You're stuck in pain that will not let up. You walk in from outside with your grief, you're really knowing that you're in pain and you're not knowing what to do this pain. But one of the transformations that you'll have is understanding what the pain is. I have been reading through the manuscript on Grieve That Shit, the book that I wrote. And there's so much in it that is so good. And the thing about Grieve That Shit is it's not a book that you're going to just read from page 1 to page 245. It's a book that you're going to read the sections as you need it. That's how it's set up. Am I avoiding my grief? Am I struggling with my grief? What does it mean? How do I talk to my kids about grief? You're just going to go in and read the different sections of the book. But one of the things that I was actually leading out is why we study out grief. Why is it important for us as grievers to study out grief? And here's the deal. Most of us don't know what grief is. We don't even know what grief is. We truly cannot answer the question about what grief is. I ask people what grief is, and they say, cry, sad, mad. They literally cannot answer what grief is. And when I tell you, you've got to understand what this thing is and what it's doing to your body, it is so true. So for you, the transformation inside processing the pain of grief is simple. It is to explain the life-changing, forever change to your body. You walk in feeling confused. You walk in feeling overwhelmed, tired, stuck in the pain, in this pain that won't let up. But you walk out understanding the grief, knowing why you're crying, why you're sad, why you're mad, how to move the pain, and finally having control over your heart again. You are the one that gets to say what's going to happen to this broken heart of yours. You are the one that gets to say what happens to this grief pain. What is happening to the pain inside of my heart, and what am I going to do with it? But here's the real transformation. You stop feeling like grief is happening to you. Grief doesn't happen to you, my friend. You are not a person that is sitting here inside of the grief and that this thing is happening to you. It's actually happening for you. And that is huge. You start understanding how grief is working inside the whole body, how it is starting to work inside the whole body. One of the things that will happen, one of the transformations that happen is that you stop drowning. You stop drowning in the waves of grief that are coming along, the waves of grief that keep pushing you. One of the most amazing things about grief is the realization. The most amazing thing to me is the realization that you look at everybody else and they truly don't have the space for your grief. And when the griever has that realization, oh my gosh, there's nobody out here helping me with this grief. Nobody understands this grief. They start to go inward. And that to me is absolutely amazing because it happens to so many grievers. So many grievers are here trying to figure out grief and explain grief, but nobody has given them the space to explain it or to understand it. That is the reason we study it out. That's the reason we study it out. So you stop drowning in the waves that are showing up. For us, the average person in society will accept this much of emotions. You can have this much in your heart that you're sharing, this much to the good and this much to the sad. These are the wave of emotions that happen inside your heart. These are the wave of emotions that most people in society will accept. You go to the graduation and you're really, really happy. And they're like, oh, look at her. She's so happy. You go to the graduation and you're really, really sad. You feel broken because he's not here. But here's the wave of emotion that the average griever will have. The average griever is here. And if we're the average griever and we're here and our waves are hitting outside what society will accept, what ends up happening to us is this mass confusion. This mass confusion that doesn't equal what society will accept. And when society doesn't accept our grief, we start to pull back. We stop talking about it. We stop sharing about it. Why? Why do we stop talking and stop sharing about it? Because we don't know what to do with it. We don't know what it is. We can't articulate what this is and what it feels like. So number one, when you come through processes of pain and grief, you stop drowning in the waves. You stop drowning in the waves. You stop being scared of the pain because you learn how to handle it without shutting down and falling apart every single time. You stop replaying the same memory over and over again on repeat. Now, you may play that memory over and over, but it doesn't bring the pain that it used to because now you know what to do with it. Because you finally know what these memories need from you. You know what they need from you and how they are being used to loosen the grip of the grief. When the average person, your average friend, cannot walk you through the grieving process, when they are judging you right here at this level, and as long as you stay right here, they're okay, but you and I are living here, causes mass confusion. Causes mass confusion in our grief. Causes you to think you're broken. Causes you to think you're doing this grief wrong. One of the other things that happens inside processing the pain of grief is you stop thinking that you're broken. You start seeing the reactions of other people and it starts making sense to you. You're also seeing the reaction of yourself every time you think you're broken. You see it on their face when they see you. You see it on your own face when you look in the mirror. But once you go through processing the pain of grief, your body starts to make sense of this. The emotions start to make sense. These emotions that are outside of the line start to make sense to you. Your story starts to make sense. Your grief story now starts to make sense. You stop avoiding your grief and you start working with it. You start leaning into it, which is what actually makes the pain soften. Your grief pain needs to be tended to. And when you tend to your broken heart, when you tend to this heart, tend to it, it softens. And when it softens, it opens. You will stop living from survival. You begin to live from a place of truth. You live from a place of truth and a place of clarity. You're no longer carrying the grief alone because you're in a group. You're in a group with other women who understand it because you learn how to speak it. You learn how to feel it and you learn how to process it with real tools, real understanding. There's some writing that takes place. There's understanding that takes place. There's talking that takes place. When I tell you I've put everything into this program, I've put everything into this program. And this program right now is $57 a month. And that will end on December 31st. And if you haven't gotten in yet, I really urge you to come in and try it. Stay for 1 month and just try it. Friends, we need to stop fearing our future. We need to be able to learn how to build a life that holds our person without hurting us every single day. And the biggest transformation you're going to get is you're going to stop thinking that healing means forgetting, because it doesn't. And you're going to learn how to carry your love for your person in a way that brings you peace instead of pressure. Processing the pain of grief will take the confusion. It will take you from confusion to clarity, from overwhelmed to steady, from shattered to grounded, from loss to guided, from hurt to healing. Not because the pain disappears, not because you finally don't know what to do with this pain, but because you finally know what to do with this pain. If you want what I'm talking about, click the link that says click here for hope and come hang out with me. Absolutely. Come and hang out with me. So honored that I got to put that first, because normally I put it at the end. And I'm going to be talking about processing the pain of grief forever, always now. And I don't want you guys to feel like, oh my gosh, she's giving us a lesson and now we have to listen to her sales. No, I flipped the script on y'all. I put the sales up front. Here's the deal. I didn't know how to process grief either. Erica didn't know how to process grief either. We had to work through it. We had to work through how to process this grief. I could stand up here all day long and give you a list of what grief is, what it feels like in your body. That's not what I want to do here at the grief school. At the grief school, I want to teach you how to move this pain, how you, the griever, can move this pain. All right. Thank you, friends. Thank you for allowing me to share that. Let's get into our lesson. December has a way of pushing every bruise you've already have. It pushes on that bruise, pushes on that bruise, pushes on the bruise. Oh my gosh, pushing on the bruise. It's a tongue twister. The world starts glowing with cheer and planning. It already started in October. If you've been around me at all, this already started with Halloween, and it just continues on. And be damned every griever, you're on your own. Your heart feels like it's just been hit by a truck. And if you made it through Thanksgiving, you only get to fall out of that truck and do it all over again. Everyone is looking forward to the end of the year. Everyone is planning. Already, I have my daughter already planning her diet that she's going to do. You know, that first of the year diet. She's already talking about that. We're doing the first of the year diet. Where are you going to be for Christmas? Grievers are picking names. Who's going to be in the name pool for Christmas? In my family, you do that on Thanksgiving. Yet you are just trying to figure out how to get out of bed. You're trying to figure out how you are supposed to live through a month that feels like it's forgotten about your pain. How am I going to live through this next month? So I want to talk you through the whole thing. I want to talk to you mostly about what's happening in your body, what's happening in your thoughts, and why these memories are hitting so hard, and how you can get through this month without losing yourself. And I'm not going to sugarcoat this for you. I'm not going to sugarcoat the grief, because if I did, it wouldn't work. Friends, there's so many people out here telling you what grief is. And that used to be me. But I want to break it down for you so that you absolutely have an understanding of what it is. And I'm also going to tell you the lies that are out there that people are telling you over and over again. And that number one lie is that time heals. And if that were true, if time really, truly healed, wouldn't you be done with this grief already? If time healed and you lost your person 5 years ago, shouldn't you be feeling better? If that lie were true, you should be ready to celebrate Christmas. You should be ready to put up the Christmas tree. What does heal and processing your grief feel like? It feels like you feel the feels. That's what it feels like. To heal with time means, what are you doing within time? What action steps are you doing within time to feel this grief? I had to open the door. The heater's on. It's like, you guys, it's like 32 degrees outside, and it's like hot in here. We feel it. We talk about it. We learn what it is. Once we learn what it is, then you can go after it and look at it. And every single one of you, it will take a different amount of time. Some of you, it will be a year. Some will be 6 months. Some will be 5 years. When I tell you we've been sold a bag of goods of just wait and you'll feel better, that is a lie. Your number one job in the beginning, when you come across your loss, is to talk about it. Talk about the pain. Talk about your person. Some of us can't even say their name out loud. It will take weeks, days, and months before we can even say their name. Then the next most important thing is learning what this grief is. And what is it doing to you, and why is it doing this? When I tell you the grief knows what it's doing, but we keep pushing back against it, the grief knows what it's doing. So let's get into December a little bit. Every year has a rhythm. We move through the months every year. We move through the seasons every year. The seasons change and we move through them. Every year has a rhythm. We move through the months, we move through the seasons. And while we're doing that rhythm, while we're dancing to the beat of that rhythm, someone dies. And that calendar now becomes a trigger, and it is used against us like a weapon. Not because you are weak, but because you are human. And in the beginning, you start remembering the day that they died. He died on a Tuesday. And every Tuesday, you're reminded of that because the calendar now triggers that grief. There's research that shows how the memory and the dates link to the brain. It links to the brain. And there's a lot of times when I'm working with grievers, their body remembers before they even notice the date on the calendar. They get mad. They get sad. They get depressed. They start yelling and screaming, and they don't even know why, because their body knows what's coming up. It's Tuesday. So in the beginning, when I'm talking to the grievers, they're always remembering Tuesday. Then they remember the 22nd, Tuesday the 22nd, Tuesday the 22nd. Anything that has a 2-2 in it, they remember that. And then you get to the part where you're at 1 month. And then you're at 2 months. And you get to the part where you're at 3 months. The calendar is used as a weapon against you, my friends. When the dates change, or when you hit a holiday, your brain pulls up every memory that you have and asking you about, do you remember this? Do you remember that? Do you remember this? It's automatic. It's not a choice. You get to that rhythm, that time of year, and the brain remembers. And it's going to remember that today is December 1st. And that you have 24 days before Christmas. And that you have 24 days left until Christmas, and that he is not here. And that you do not want to put up a tree. You don't want lights on your house. This is why you can be standing in a store looking at the decorations, and suddenly you cannot breathe. It is like someone reached in and pulled your heart out. Just before I started to do this video, you guys, it's the cutest little thing last night. If I've ever shared with you, my mom was diagnosed with dementia, and she's in the early stages of dementia. And for the next 3 weeks, she's going to be staying at my brother's. And her husband, Lawrence, not my dad, her husband, Lawrence, died in August. And I've shared this with a lot with you guys because you know that I was in Arizona for a month. And last night, my brother made the cutest video. One of the things that they are encouraging us to do is to play Battleship with her. Because in battleship, you have to use different parts of your mind to remember how the game works, to remember where to put the A4, A2, to where to put the nuggets, watching, trying to remember where your partner's ship is, how to sink his ship. And so my brother made a video last night. It was the cutest thing. I need to play it for you guys so you can see it. He's playing Battleship with my mom and he sank her ship. But he's like, this is how we're going to play it. Every time I sink one of your ships, you have to make the sound as if a ship blew up. So he's got the camera on her. She doesn't realize the camera's on. He's like, okay, I sank your ship. And she goes, psh. And he's like, Mom, you got to do it bigger than that. And he makes a big sound. It's the cutest little video. So today I called her. And we're just talking. I told her how cute the video was, and we're talking to her, and she's like, I just don't feel like Christmas. My mother's a big Christmas person. She has all the little houses. She has the trees. I have here currently 11 boxes of Christmas decorations for this woman at my house currently. I'm not into it. I just don't feel like it. And I said, Mom, your husband just died. He just died. And I went like this: August, September, October, November. September, October, November. And I said, it's just barely been 3 months. And she said, oh my gosh, is it 3 months already? And she said, I'm so sad. And I said, I know, Mom. I know. He was your friend. He was your friend. You lost your really good friend, and he treated you really good. And my heart hurts for you. And what I'd like to see you do right now is just acknowledge that you're grieving. She's like, you're right. I need to just say that I'm grieving. Friends, even in her dementia mind, her heart can pull on the grief. She knows that she's grieving. She knew it was something, but she couldn't put her finger on it. She was shocked when I said it's been 3 months. When the date changes, or when you hit a holiday, your brain starts pulling up every memory. She started to tell me all these stories about Lawrence. It was automatic for her. She told me what they were planning to do for the holidays. It wasn't a choice. Her brain is searching. It's searching for danger. And it goes into those memories and it's like, see, remember this? This is painful now. Oh, don't go over there. This is painful now. And that's why you can be standing at the store, looking at the decorations, not even thinking about your person, and all of a sudden, you break down. Something in front of you reminds your mind of that memory, the memory of your person. All she could articulate to me was that she just didn't feel like doing the holiday. All she could articulate to me was that she was sad. Friends, even in her slowing down self, grief is real. Grief is normal. And grief is not your fault. You're going to feel this. I have a question for you. What moment of this month has hit you the hardest so far? What moment of this month have you felt so far? What moment of this month are you feeling deep? You're going to feel it deep because your body is experiencing the grief. It's not just in your brain. It's not just in your heart. It is in your entire body. And I'm not saying a poem here. This is not poetry. It's the truth. It's documented that grief studies have shown stress hormones rise after a loss. When the hormones stay high, your body starts to ache. Your sleep starts to get messy. Your eating is messy. Your digestive gets hit. Your energy level drops. Your body's not being dramatic. My mother couldn't articulate what it was, but she's like, I just don't want to do it. I even asked her about being at my brother's, and she's like, yeah, I just don't know. She wants to go back to where she feels comfortable. She wants to go back to my sister's. She wants to go back to where she feels comfortable. Her body's trying to get her back there because it felt safe. It felt like a cocoon. It's reacting to these deepest wounds that you have to live through. And then one of the number one ways that you can react is talk about it. December doesn't make the body pain worse. The memories and your mind and the grief are going to be there. Old memories are going to come up over and over and over again. And we've put it in our mind that Christmas and December are making our grief worse. They're going to be there. Your grief's going to be there. Your grief's going to show up. Is December adding to it? Absolutely. The memories about the holidays adding to it? Absolutely. The body follows whatever the mind is telling it to do. It's just going to go along with it. Your stomach could be upset. You could be having total diarrhea, total vomiting, totally not being able to eat, not being able to digest food that you normally would. What part of your body has felt the grief the most this month? Is it your heart? Is it your back? Are you feeling it in your stomach? Are you feeling it in your throat? Is it your eyes? Are you crying? Let's talk about the memory that owes you. December carries a lot of dates. December carries a lot of dates. Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve, Kwanzaa, Christmas Day, right? A lot. But then you also have your anniversaries. You have your traditions. You have your songs. You have your smells. You have the places you used to go. You have the lights that are all over everyone's house. All of it becomes landmines. All of it becomes landmines. Maybe it's your first Christmas without your person. Maybe it's the second or third. And everyone thinks you should be better by now. And you're still trying to figure out how to just do this. But when I tell you, grief doesn't follow the exceptions, there's no such research that shows grief ends at a certain time of the year. Well, it's December, so the grief should go to sleep now so I can enjoy December. The grief should go to sleep so I could have gone to the Thanksgiving with my family. Here's what we do know. Unprocessed grief stays in your heart. Unprocessed grief stays in your heart, and it will stay dormant as long as you do not touch it. And as long as you do not touch it, that unprocessed grief will stay in there. So when December arrives, your mind pulls up the memory of that day, and everything in your body will start to change. Yesterday was, where was I yesterday? Oh, we went out to dinner. My grandson was here for the week and he was leaving, so we took him out to dinner. Well, lunch. We took him out to lunch. It's the first time I heard Christmas songs. First time I heard Christmas songs this season. And Nat King Cole album was playing and totally went to my dad. I was in the restroom with one of the twins. We did what we had to do. All in the restroom, I heard the song. My heart got filled with joy, but immediately it went to my dad. That was a song from my childhood. My dad would play those albums this time of year on the weekends. He would play the albums. And I walked out to where everyone was sitting and I was like, hey, this is one of grandfather's, they would call my dad the grandfather. This is one of grandfather's Christmas songs. And they pretty much ignored me, but I was like, oh man, it was really cool. Imagine you being a raw griever and that same thing happening to you. That could send you running out of the restaurant. That could send you leaving. December arrives, your mind pulls up the memories of those days and every day. It replays what happened last year. It is replaying what's happening now. Your heart hasn't forgotten. It's trying to make sense of what happened to you. That's not weakness. That's grief. That's love. That's your heart trying to figure out how is your loved one gone? That's your heart trying to figure this out. What memory has been the loudest for you this month? I know today is just December 1st, but it's been started since October. What memory has been the loudest for you? I know this to be true. And so I'm going to talk about it because we talk about it all the time. You can be surrounded by 200 people and still feel like you're the only person in the room who is hurting. That loneliness is real. Studies show that grief often leads to social withdrawal, especially at this time of year. I can't do the holiday thing. I can't do the Christmas party. I'm not going to the work party. Because the brain and the nervous system are overwhelmed with grief. They are absolutely overwhelmed with grief. You are not imagining it. It is true. It is too much. And the worst part is, everyone else keeps moving like it's a normal life. But you, my friend, are in the alternate universe. You are standing here saying, doesn't anybody know my person just died? And they are moving all around you, doing the trees, doing the lights, doing all the things. And you're like frozen. That's grief. They make plans. You don't even know how you're going to get out of bed. They talk about gifts. They talk about pulling names. They even ask you what you're doing for the holidays. And all that question does is stab you right in the heart. This month brings out the biggest emotional split. The world celebrates and you grieve. And you feel like you don't even belong here or anywhere. Who's the person that you wish understood this pain? Who's the person you wish understood this pain right now? Is it the person that's gone? Isn't the person that was here with you who would really get you, who would really understand? Is there one person here today that you can call up, like I could call up my Sharon, and tell them about this weekend, this month, and what you're going through? Who's that one person? I want to talk about a couple of ways to survive December without breaking. I can't promise this month will feel easy, but I can walk you through the plan to keeping you steady. Number one, you need a grief plan, not a holiday plan. They're all making a holiday plan. You need a grief plan. You need a grief plan. Decide what you want to move. Decide how you want to move through this month. Decide what you will and will not do, and be honest about it and talk about it. Decide what your heart can handle and what it absolutely can't. I cannot go to the tree lighting ceremony, but I can go see Ho-Ho. Santa, that's what my kids call him. When you make the plan that I can't go to the tree lighting, but I can go to Ho-Ho, that's not avoiding grief. That's you deciding which things you can do and which things you can't. This is you protecting your heart. So number one, you need a plan to protect your heart. Number two, you honor. You don't have to celebrate, but consider honoring. And this is from my beautiful friend, Dee Dee. There's no research and no rule anywhere that says you have to celebrate during grief. Celebrations require joy, laughter. Honoring requires your presence. In the beginning, you're going to be honoring, not necessarily celebrating. So think of that as a way to help you through the year. You don't have to go to every celebration, but can you go to the family celebration in honor of him? Can you go to sit with his kids so that you're honoring him and your marriage that you had to him for 40 years? As time passes, you'll go back to celebrating him again. There'll be space for both. Number three, protect your energy. You don't owe anyone holiday cheer. You don't have to attend any invites. You can say no. No, period, is a full sentence. You don't have to explain your sadness. Girl, this is your grief. This is your mouth, and this is your heart. Use all three of them. No, thank you. Oh, that sounds lovely. No, you need grief time. Number 4, you need grief time. Grief time means you sit with the pain for a few minutes every day. It means you sit with the pain for a few minutes every day. It keeps the pain from exploding later. This is proven helpful in grief therapy research. When you give grief attention, it stops screaming for it. When you give it the attention, you can process it all the way through. From beginning to end, it goes full circle and it blows off until it comes back again. You need some grief time. Plan it in this month, wherever you're going to put it. Number 5, you need to talk about your person. Say their name. Tell their stories. This is healthy. When the memory comes up, share the memory. Share the memory with your kids. Share the memory with his best friend. Share the memory. Grief studies have shown that sharing memories supports emotional healing. What is one boundary you need for yourself? What is one boundary you need for yourself this month? Figure out that boundary and set it. Figure out that boundary and set it. Tell the truth about getting to the end of the year. This is you needing to tell the truth. You're not supposed to be positive this whole entire month. You're supposed to be honest. That's what grief is. Be honest with ourselves always. We're honest with ourselves, about ourselves, and we're honest about our person. That is what grief looks like, is when you're being totally honest and you're sharing it with everyone. Grief does not shrink when you avoid it. Grief does not shrink just because you avoid it. I had to repeat that again. It softens when you tend to it, when you feel it, when you allow it. When you learn what's happening inside of you and how this grief is going to go, you stop running from it because you're not so fearful of it. We're running because we're scared to death. You can ask for support that actually gets it, that actually understands it. This is what I teach in the grief processing the pain of grief class. I teach you how to carry a broken heart, how your brain is working against you, what your body is doing. I teach you all of that. The world is going to start not only celebrating the holiday, but it's going to start celebrating the new year. I don't know where you are in your grief, but I remember I didn't want to go. I was like kicking and screaming to go into that new year. I did not want to do that. I didn't want to do that because I knew the calendar was changing. I get it. I get it. The date's changing and it feels like you're being pulled further and further away from your person. Going into that year, that next year, meant I was leaving him behind. It happened to me with Austin and Donovan. It meant I was leaving them in this year. I hated that. Here's the truth, backed by research. The date changing does not erase your bond with your person. Memory does not disappear with time. Love does not disappear with time. You're going to remember everything about him. What changes is your relationship to the pain, your relationship with the pain. You're not stepping away from your person. It's okay that the New Year's is coming. It's not okay. It's not okay that the New Year's coming without your person. But it is okay for you to cry and say, I don't want to do this. That part is okay. Not wanting to go into the new year is okay. Friends, it is up to us to learn how to carry this love in a new way. I want to invite each and every one of you to heal what is broken in your heart right now, to start working on it, to think about what is happening in your heart and to truly start thinking about working on it. You don't have to stay in this pain forever. You don't have to guess your way through this grief. You do not have to do December alone. That is why I created Processing the Pain of Grief, because grievers deserve real tools, real truth, real support, and real healing. And Processing the Pain of Grief, we talk, we learn, we process, we stop running. We're together as a group. Our grief is witnessed. How do you take back your life without losing your memory of your person? You do the work. You do the heart work. You do the heart work and tend to your broken heart. That's how you do it, friends. If December feels like hell to you, it doesn't mean anything is wrong. It means that you're grieving. It means that you love someone so much, and that loss is cracking your whole body open. Your whole world is starting to fall apart. But you are not broken. You are grieving, and you can get through this month one breath at a time, one truth at a time. We need to sit together, witness our grief, and honor our person. And I'm right here for you. I'm right here with you. I'm ready, willing, and able to help you. You coming? I'm here for you. And you are ready to do this work. I promise you. And without a doubt, it is the hardest work you've ever done. But we're going to do it together. Me, you, and all of our sisters. Thank you, friends. I look forward to seeing you in Processing the Pain of Grief. I look forward to seeing you in the live videos. I look forward to seeing you in TikTok lives. All of the things. I'm back. And I'm so excited to see you all. I will see you on the next video.